Shalom, 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 shalom. Happy Tuesday. Happy Taco Tuesday. Shalom, everybody. Hi. So I'm gonna do a brief education. You guys know, and if you didn't know, I am a psychiatric nurse. I work with psych patients, all with all kinds of diagnoses. So let me just say this real quick. Let me just real quick because I do run across interesting things. So I was I used to work at a hospital near my house, and anyway, so I stopped working there. It was during the pandemic. And so whatever. So whatever. So I'm coming from work. I work that night and I'm coming, and it's morning time, and I'm coming from work and I turn the corner to get into the lane that I needed to get into, and right in front of me is a bucky, bald, naked woman, and appears internally preoccupied. Definitely was not in her right mind. You can definitely know that she was easily distracted, barefoot, um, and just was on a mission to get to this gas station. So I see her and I'm like, okay, now I need to intervene because um not only is she vulnerable right now, because we do have people around that could take advantage. Not only is she vulnerable, I want to be able. Good morning, Key. Good morning, sweetheart. Shalom. Happy Tuesday. Want to make sure that she doesn't get arrested for being for public lewdness. I didn't want her to get arrested, and I didn't know what she was going to do up in that gas station. So I ended up following her. I had the police on the line. She goes into the gas station and she doesn't pay. She grabs a strawberry soda, and she doesn't pay for it, and she walks back out. And I go in there. I'm like, listen, she has the hospital band on her wrist. She couldn't take that off. So I'm like, listen, she probably eloped from the emergency room. I used to work in their emergency room as well. She probably eloped from the emergency room. It is not that hard to do when it's busy, especially. People do it all the time. Probably took off all of her. Good morning, can't handle the truth, sweetheart. Shalom. Took off all of her clothes because there's so the thing with psychotic patients. Um, I need to stop saying so much. But the thing with psychotic patients is that you can take their temperature and it can be normal, but for some reason, internally, they feel very, very hot. So a lot of times we might be on a unit and a patient takes off all their clothes, and we know that there's going to be an episode because they're psychotic, or we're going to need to talk them down, might need to offer some medication. If they get real psychotic, we go past offering medication and then we just straight give it to them. And it is a needle and it does go in your butt. You could do it in your deltoid. It just does not work as fast. You're going to get a needle in your butt. And I always tell guys, and it works more for guys than with women. You're going to have about 5'6'3", 300-pound dudes holding you down and looking at your booty while I give you an injection. So let's reorient. But anyways, that turned out fine. The police came. I called the hospital, let them ask them. Oh no, I'm going to tell you what 5150 is. Can't handle the truth. Hey, Naina. Okay, what happened? So the police came. I told her this is what happened. I told them I got the soda, which they weren't going to press charges on her. Anyways, okay, Key. He said she used to work with psychiatric patients. Okay, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I had a coat in my car, so I let her have that coat to put on her. And I told them to put something else on her. I forgot what the weather was, but anyways, that's that. Okay, so I want to explain the 5150 thing because I hear it a lot and people misuse it a lot, and I just wanted to do some general education. And that's about it. If you're interested, you are. If not, that's fine. I'm gonna just say it and then I'm gonna jump off. But so 5150 Baker's Act basically is what we call somebody who comes in on an EDO, which is an emergency detention order, or a EDW, which is an emergency detention warrant. Now, once you come in, yeah, they do misuse it. Okay, so yeah, I can't handle the truth. You know what it means. So 5150, which we don't even call it 5150, that's kind of antiquated, is basically like, say I am hanging out with my sister. Maybe she has maybe, hey Drip King. Hey Drip King. Good morning. Shalom. Happy Tuesday. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, so 5150 pertains to being brought into a psychiatric hospital against your will. And you are brought into a psychiatric hospital against under a governing body, usually your state. So the state of Texas. If you come to my unit, I'm gonna let you know I'm not here. I didn't bring you here. If I came to work and you were here, I came to work and you were here. The state of Texas has you here, and yes, they do have you here against your will. And no, I definitely can't do anything about it. So, um, so so that's part of it. So let me just begin. Let me just start again at the beginning because I lost track a little bit looking at the chat. So 5150 is say I'm just playing a game with my sister. Maybe she doesn't have a psychiatric diagnosis. Maybe she does, and she starts flipping out, flipping tables, busting out windows, calling me the devil, screaming, causing a ruckus, and becoming psychotic. I can call the police and say, listen, this is what's going on. The police will get there and be like, oh, yes, she's going through a psychotic episode. Even though she might trash my house, I might be like, that, don't worry about it. Just take care of my sister. So they're not going to press charges. 99.9% of the time, when somebody is in a mental health crisis and they do something like steal something, sometimes they just take things. Hey, Krishna says, hey, Krishna. Sometimes people just take things because it's part of their psychosis. So they rarely, it's rarely prosecuted or anything like that. But they'll take my sister, and if my sister doesn't want to go willingly, then they put her on an emergency detention order. And that means that she has to go to a psychiatric hospital. She has to. Okay, so that's part of it. So now you have an order. The judge is going to sign off on it. The magistrate, sorry, is going to sign off on it. Now we got to find you a hospital to go to, which that could take a long time or a short time. So we got to find a hospital to put you in. Actually, no, we have 73 days, so 72 hours to do something with you, or we have to let you go, which nobody lets the 72 hours go by, and then you can also renew it after 72 hours. So y'all, and then also if you get emergency detention order on the weekend, you're SOL because your 72 hours doesn't start till Monday. If it's a holiday, it doesn't count. That day doesn't count for you. And if it's a long holiday, if Monday's a holiday too, your 72 hours don't start till Tuesday. So let me see. Okay, so if you get brought in, you get brought in against your will. They're going to say the state of Texas has committed you to against your real will to receive service. So now you're in the hospital. You've been 5150. 5150 means my boyfriend, I called my boyfriend and said, this is it. I took some pills. Sorry, bye. My boyfriend calls the police. I'm definitely going to be 5150. And I will tell you another thing, if you come in to the hospital and you give the impression, or say I took let's say I took, no, I'm not going to say that because I don't want any kids to watch this. But say I did something to harm myself, right? To take myself out of this world. And everybody probably has that spidey sense on the back of the neck that you're going to downplay that attempt, and you're going to try to get out of going to the hospital, then okay, no. Okay, what I mean to say is, if you come in voluntarily and not under a detention order, and you say that something happened, like you did something or you said something or something happened, they call and somebody calls for you, you can come in voluntarily and they can make you involuntary. So if you come into the hospital voluntary, they can very easily quick make you involuntary. So, okay, so you've been 50-50, now you're in the hospital, okay? So now the doctor says, okay, you were doing all of this in your psychosis. Maybe you haven't been on your medication for a while, or maybe your medication doesn't work for you anymore. They have other modalities. We have group therapy. We have wrap-up group at night. During the day, they have their groups on coping skills and how to react to things. They have anger management, they have spirituality, they have all that and more for the Spanish patients as well. Then here comes the part where it gets tricky sometimes. The doctors prescribe medications for you. It's in the computer what time you get the medication. The nurses give you your medication and you refuse to take your medication, right? So now you're refusing to take your medication. You're still psychotic. If you're not doing anything to harm somebody, if you're not at risk of harming yourself, if you're not at risk of harming anybody else, if you're not at risk of not being able to take care of yourself, there is nothing that we can do to you. Nothing. Roll the cameras. You cannot like give somebody an injection because they're getting on your nerves. That's just the job that you signed up for. People are going to get on your nerves. I'm going to tell you right now, I have been called every single name in the book, and ones that you guys have not probably never heard of. Yes, I've been called a B, I've been called an N, I've been called a see you next Tuesday. I mean, and that goes for every psych nurse. It's not even it's something it's something that we care about anymore. Like when if somebody calls me a B, it's just part of being a psych nurse. It sounds so bad, but it doesn't, it doesn't pierce. So anyways, now you're in the hospital. You have every right, just because you're in the hospital against your will, you have every right not to take the medication. You have every right to refuse. And there are some patients that will come up and they'll say, oh, I'm not going to take the medication. And they look really smug. And I just say, okay, I do not give them a reaction, because at the end of the day, if they're not going to take the medication, they're not. They're going to act up. If they act up too much, then they get something to bring them down. If they're psychotic and they're just walking around, hey, just walk around. No problems. Blessing, Krishna, if you have to go. Blessings, namaste. Blessings to you and your family, your beautiful family. You have every right to refuse the medication until the doctors and the nurses and the team realize that if we don't get you on some medication quick, you're going to continue to decompensate. And keep in mind, these patients, sometimes they come in from off the street, haven't taken showers in days. When they're there, they haven't taken a shower because they're so deep in their psychosis. It doesn't really smell good a lot of times. And there's sometimes the rooms you do not want to go into that room. Um, so it's a lot going on. So sometimes we have to come together, and the game plan across the board in every state is to put you on court ordered medication, forced medication. So what that means is you are a danger to yourself, danger to others. You're unable to take care of yourself due to your psychosis. Now you're not taking your medication. We need to get you back to be your baseline, being yourself. So now I have two options for you. Now the court signed off on your court order medication. You can call it a forced med order. What happens is you're either going to take the pill or we're going to give you an injection, and there's no in between. If you refuse the pill, that's fine. You're going to get an injection. So most of our patients don't really care for the injection, so they're gonna go ahead and take the pill. Hey, Anaya, sis. I love that prayer that you put up. Both of his prayers were really earth shattering. It was so beautiful. It was very beautiful. I really, really enjoyed that this morning. It was right on time. You know, Anaya, they always say like 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, so a lot of people get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and even like during the night shift, 3 o'clock in the morning is like when like the Lord wakes you up to pray with Him. So I really appreciated that, sis. I'm really loving your posts. Um, Okay, so that's 5150. That's against your will. Now, I don't think I don't think some people realize that 5150 is not like the only thing. Much needed, Anaya. Much needed, sis. Much for so many. For so many. Yeah, sis. Much needed. Keep posting. It was fantastic. Fantastic. So I think most people feel like the only time you can come to a psychiatric hospital is if you are 5150, if you are brought against your will. There are people who we call them malingerers, I'm not going to lie. And those are people who are live on the street, the weather gets bad, so they come in and they say that they're having these symptoms, and then they get admitted. And I'm not even going to lie, like we do have sometimes we do have patients that do that, and I like them because it's like they're there just to relax and get their 3 hots in a cot, maybe take some medication, and they are there. They come so often, they know you. If a patient, and I always got to tell a patient, listen, please do not intervene. If a patient is yelling at me or cursing me out, please do not put your hands on them, because now I got to do paperwork on you too. So, yeah, there are people that come to the hospital. They realize that something's going on. They're feeling like they want to exit the world. They may be feeling like they want to cause other people to exit the world. They may be psychotic. They know that they're psychotic, but they're very, very scared because their psychosis is causing them to feel like people are after them. We have patients who are grandiose, who feel like they're celebrities or they feel like they're royalty. And so, hey, Rinky, I'm doing well, sis. How are you? How are you? I'll come to a live soon, Rinky. Okay. Yes, always support. So anyways, that's just a quick education. 5150 is not the only way to get into the hospital. You can put your clothes on, get a suitcase, get a small bag, put things that you need in it and come to the hospital. And another thing, when you do come to the hospital, they have strict rules. And most of the rules are the same in every state. So let's say something happens. Somebody does this thing in Tennessee, like with something that is in the hospital, then that becomes banned in every hospital across the nation. It's always like sometimes my patients are like, I can't have my hand sanitizer, and it's like, no, unfortunately, oh, you're alive, but you're here. Okay, Rinky, we'll go there next. If I don't fall asleep. But unfortunately, there's so many rules, because when something happens, then it's like you don't want anything bad to happen to your patients. You definitely, as a psych nurse, you don't want your patients to exit the world unless you're working geriatric. And if you work in geriatrics at all, you're gonna get some losses. But there's a lot of hand sanitizer. It has alcohol in it, and if you get somebody who's an alcoholic, they will drink the sanitizer and get drunk off of it. So if our patients ask for hand sanitizer, we have our own, the handheld ones, and we do like 1 or 2 pumps. That's it. You can't have belts, because people can put belts around their neck. So you can't have any ligatures. You can't have money, because people are just going to steal your money, and we're not responsible for it. So we just say, instead of having people steal your money, steal your ID, steal your wallet, we're going to store that for you in storage. And when you leave, you get all of that. Um, what else can you not have? You can't have pens, because people make shanks out of pens, make weapons out of pens. They self-harm with pens. Same reason why you can't have sharps, because if you give somebody sharps and it's hustling and bustling on the unit, and they feel anxiety and they feel like cutting, they'll start cutting if you give them sharps. Some of them, they'll use their nails if they don't have anything else. What else? You can't have belts. Your shoes, you cannot have shoelaces, because you can tie your shoelaces together, put them around your neck. Your clothes can't be too tight. You can't wear underwire bra, because you can take the underwire out, you can make it a weapon, you can bend it in half and cut yourself. So you have to have a sports bra on. What else? I always tell the patient, this is not hookup zone. Please do not hook up with one another, because if you are in your right mind and you have any dealings, and we do round on the patients, and that's why I never, like, if it's every 15 minutes, I might do every 12, I might do every 17. This is only when I get the honor of being a tech, which is much easier than being a nurse. So yeah, when I do rounding, when I play tech, when I do rounding, I don't do it every 15 minutes, because the patients will get into that rhythm. And y'all know, especially if a guy just came out of jail, y'all know 10 minutes is all they need to get things accomplished. So and it does happen. Um, and it does happen. And so you can be charged with the R word, even if that person consents, because if you're somebody's psychotic or somebody's not in their right mind, they can't give consent. So darn it, I've seen that happen too. So anyways, 5150, yeah, it's always there. Please do not make the mistake of, if somebody called the cops on you and then you retaliate by doing the same thing to them, that's going to get you in trouble. That person that you call on is not going to the hospital like you did. You're just going to get in trouble. Especially if the cops remember, or if they can prove that they had you go to the hospital against your will. It is against your will, but it's mandated. So yeah, that's about it. You can definitely go to the hospital voluntarily and check yourself in and get stabilized. All right. Okay. Naina, just let me look and see who all I got. I might not need any more mods, but I might. I mean, I don't have that many people coming in my chat. But let me just look, Naina, and then I got you, sis. Okay. Shalom, everybody. Shalom, shalom. Thank you for listening to my brief education about 5150. Love you guys and bye.